What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can start building wealth while you're in college. Now, I know that college life is often synonymous with eating ramen noodles in a tight budget, but believe me, if you can start building wealth now, then you're setting yourself up for financial success in the future. Now, here are some tips and tricks to help you build wealth in college. Now, the first piece of advice I have for you is start building your credit immediately. Your credit score is going to be one of the most important numbers in your life. And this can determine what kind of loan rates you're going to be getting, what kind of mortgage rates, and so much more. Furthermore, having a good credit doesn't just mean you'll get good rates on these loans. A landlord might check for your credit score to determine whether they will rent you out a house. Employers might check your credit score when they're considering you for a job, and there's just so much more to credit than just that. And many people are scared of credit cards because they're scared of credit loan debt. But there's a very easy way to manage these. The simplest way you can boil down credit is you're using someone else's money to buy something right now, but if you pay them back immediately, then there's no fees or interest that are going to occur. Moreover, the earlier you start building credit, the better. Because the credit score is also based on how long you've had credit, that means the longer you've had it for, the higher it will be. Moreover, there are many credit cards out there made for students, such as Discover or Bank of America, who have very good deals that you can use credit cards to your advantage too. And outside of just building your credit score, credit cards also have many different advantages, such as giving you more cash back than you typically would receive and teaching you how to manage your money. The one mistake I see a lot of people make with credit cards is credit debt. This might be the worst form of debt because one, it is so easy to get access to. All you have to do is just swipe your card, and two, the interest rates are incredibly high. Credit card debt can hold you back financially for years on end just because of how high the interest rates are. The number one thing that you have to do with a credit card is make sure you pay it off every month. In fact, when you're just starting, it's a good idea to pay it back after every single time you use it, just so you can build into the habit of paying back your credit card loans. A good rule of thumb with a credit card is not ever putting more on it than you can afford. But overall, your credit card and your credit score is what is going to put you ahead in life. Now, the second thing is learning about finances and knowing how to budget. Now, if you're in college, you know that education is king. And I'm not talking just about your textbooks either, although those are important too. I'm talking about the basis of financial education, which includes budgeting, investing, and saving for the future. There are a ton of resources online, ranging from websites to YouTube channels that you can easily gain access to this information. And if you're even more interested, you can also take advantage of financial literacy courses in college. The more you know about your finances, the more confident you'll be in your financial journey. Remember, the goal isn't just to survive college financially, rather it's to prepare yourself for the future. And expanding on that, we have to discuss budgeting. Budgeting isn't just about restricting yourself, it's about gaining control over your finances. Now, a great place to start is by tracking how much you're spending every month and creating a budget every month. This way you'll know how much money is going in and out of your account, and that way it is easier for you to get an idea of how to budget and where you need to use your money. This will also help you to identify areas where you can cut back on and allow you to save that money and invest it towards the future. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't go out to eat every now and then. Once again, this isn't about restricting yourself completely. Rather, it's learning about the different ways you can cut back and save to invest towards your future. Now, college is also synonymous with parties and having fun, which I'm not against. But just understand that by creating a budget for yourself, you understand how much money you have to spend every month, and this habit will continue in your future too, and will allow you to be more financially smart, not only in college, but also throughout your future careers. Now, my next piece of advice is to get a part-time job. When it comes to building wealth, in reality, it really boils down to two things: how much you can earn and how much of that you can save. Now, we discussed how you can save through budgeting, but now let's talk about how you can boost your income. When it comes to being in college, I know people out there are very busy taking their classes, and that's completely fine too. You have to remember with college that you're putting money in now towards your education so that in the future you'll be able to have a higher income. So don't ever feel bad about using money in college. However, while you're in college, there are some good ways that you can still earn money. Scholarships and grants are a great way to allow you to have that little bit of extra income. There are many different scholarship and grants programs out there, including federal and state, as well as university specific. So I would make sure you check out all of those. And there are also many good websites out there as well. FastWeb, for example, has a list of a ton of different scholarships that anyone could apply to. However, I understand this might not cover all of your expenses. Another great way to just boost your income is to get a part-time job while in college. Now, getting a part-time job may not be for everyone. If you are taking a lot of classes and don't have time for a part-time job, don't worry about it. Because at the end of the day, college is still investing in your future. But if you do have the time available, I would recommend getting a part-time job. Now, this can be anywhere. For instance, you could go work at Chipotle and get a free meal every shift so that you're not eating ramen every day. Or you could go work at a store and get a % discount on whatever they're offering. You can also check your university websites for different job opportunities, which may be very beneficial if you don't have a good way to get around, or it's just more convenient for you to stay on campus. Another part-time job that many don't actually consider is research opportunities. Many universities have different research opportunities for students that actually have a pretty decent pay. And not only are you earning income while in this research, you're also investing in your future as well. You're building up your knowledge in your field, which can bolster your resume and help you get a better paying job in the future as well. So I would definitely go and check out research opportunities that your university has to offer. The extra income you earn can go a long ways, whether it's towards your emergency fund, investing, or simply just giving you a bit more financial breathing room. Remember, it's not just about making money now, rather it's about developing a financial mindset that will benefit you in the future. Now, speaking about saving your money, we have to talk about an emergency fund. Life always has a way of throwing you curveballs, so you better be ready for this. Having a financial net can save you from a lot of stress and potential debt. Now, I know in college it's still really difficult to set aside all that money. Now, typically people recommend to have an emergency fund that you can live off for 3 to 6 months. Now, I know that seems like a lot, but it is still well worth it in the long run. And keep in mind, our emergency fund can be anything. Now, you obviously don't have to dump a ton of money into this immediately. Rather, you can start slow and little by little grow it up until you do have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in that emergency fund. Now, a tip I would have about this is to use a very high interest savings account for your emergency fund. That way, your money can still generate wealth. For instance, Discover has a great savings program that's over 4% APY, which means that even your emergency fund, which isn't doing anything, will still grow 4% every year. Now, the next piece of advice I have is very specific to college students, which is to take advantage of your student resources. Colleges often provide a treasure trove of resources, whether that be student discounts, university libraries, career fairs, and networking opportunities. All these are great resources that every student should use. And remember, you're in college so that you can prepare for your future, which means don't be skipping out on those networking opportunities or career fairs that could help you land a better job in the future and build connections in your field. Remember, you're not only just building financial wealth in college, rather you're also building a wealth of knowledge and people. Now, I know a lot of companies at career fairs and networking opportunities reject a lot of undergraduate students. However, don't be discouraged. Just because you're getting rejected from these doesn't mean you cannot build any connections with the people there. And other than just building up these connections with people, you can also take advantage of a university library to check out books about financial freedom and just to learn more about how you can build wealth. Moreover, student discounts are also a great advantage that you should take. Many different companies and websites all offer student discounts. You just have to know where to look. So just do a little Googling and you'll find that these savings can add up really quickly over time. Now, we can't talk about college without talking about student loans. Americans owe $1.77 trillion in terms of student loan debt, which is absolutely absurd. However, like I've been mentioning throughout this video, you're using the money and taking out the loans now to invest in your education and to invest in your future. So don't ever feel bad or feel like you're being unsmart with these loans. However, if you do have to take out other loans, then it's a really smart idea to pay off those high interest loans first. The high interest debt can build up a lot over time, and it can be incredibly stressful and even last a whole lifetime. It's a smart idea to start paying off those high interest loans now while you still have the chance. However, paying off every single piece of debt that you have might not be the smartest idea. Because typically federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans have really low interest rates, it might be a smart idea to actually take that money and invest it elsewhere. However, this is completely different for high interest debt. Because if a certain loan has a low interest rate, that means you can take that money and invest it in, let's say, the stock market, which has around an 8% return every year, and in which case would actually outpace the interest that you have to pay on the debt. Which means you can actually build money with student loans. But that's only if you do it correctly. If you have too much high interest debt, all of that debt can add up and in your future be a hindrance on your journey to financial freedom. So just keep that in mind. Once again, it would be a smart idea to set out a small portion of your budget every single month and pay down these debts. That way, you're not only lowering the amount of debt that you have, but you're also learning about how you can manage your finances. And lastly, invest as early as you can. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. And you don't need a ton of cash to get started at all. A lot of different exchanges offer the ability to buy percentage shares, which means that you only need a little as maybe $5 to get started investing. You can also look into low-cost index funds, and the power of compound interest is your best friend. With compound interest, you're getting more and more interest on interest. Now, the best way to get started investing is to choose a broker such as Fidelity or Vanguard and choose a low-cost index fund to invest into. And I would recommend putting most of your money into the stock market. But if you're interested, you can also look into crypto investing and real estate investing. But typically, because you're in college, that means you're really young. So you probably want to stay more away from bonds and what are considered to be more safe investments. If you're interested in learning more about crypto investing, make sure you subscribe and check out the other videos on my channel. But bottom line, investing is the smartest way in how you can build wealth. And it doesn't take a lot either. One more thing I'll recommend is that you start a Roth IRA the moment you turn 18. A Roth IRA is incredibly beneficial because it allows your investments to grow tax-free. That means any money that you put into your Roth IRA that you then invest into the stock market, that means you don't have to pay any taxes on the gains that it incurs. Moreover, when you take out money from your Roth IRA, unlike a traditional IRA or a 401k, you don't have to pay any taxes on that as well, because the money that you put into the Roth IRA is after-tax money. So I would recommend to every college student out there that you open a Roth IRA and just put your money into index funds that tracks the S&P 500. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, you can choose specific companies to invest into, but I would recommend for beginners and for the general college student that you just put your money into an index fund. That way you automatically diversify your entire portfolio and don't have to worry about specific companies rising or falling. Try to learn more about the market, how fees can impact your investments, and just build up wealth within your Roth IRA, and you'll be financially set for the future. There's so much financial wisdom out there for you to take advantage of, so you better go out and take advantage of it. And there you have it. Those are some very practical strategies and how you can start building your wealth in college. Remember, building wealth takes time. You want to start as early as you can. Just start by investing a little bit of your budget every single month, and you'll soon realize that your wealth has been growing without you even realizing it. It's not about how much money you make, rather it's about how much money you can keep and grow. If you found these tips helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video with your other college friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.